Hello and welcome back to another video. So as usual, I'm down in the shed with the gang, keeping in out of the rain. And I know I talk about the weather a lot here, but lads, the weather last night was something unreal. The wind and the rain just seemed to go on for hours. It was torrential. The lake outside, I have never seen that volume of water in it. It is just staying off the road. It is full to the brim, and I'd say the stream now going down through the other field is probably like a river at this stage with the volume of water we had overnight. We were expecting a bad night, but we were definitely not expecting that volume of rain that we had, which is not good because the yearlings are out. Now, they're fine because there's loads of shelter in that field between the trees and the ditches and all that, but they're still in the reseed. And that reseed is prone to get wet at times, and I am almost nervous about going up to see what the place is like because I'd say it can't be good. So I'll have to go up there in a while now and try and get them out of there. But the problem is trying to get them out of there without them jumping and dancing and whatnot around the field. I then have to get them through the other field without doing the same, and then get them into the older grass where I'm not overly worried about it. But it's it's not ideal, but look, it is what it is. What can we do? Hopefully there isn't too much damage, or hopefully a lot of it is just superficial damage and it'll be okay. But yeah, the weather is causing difficulties, as it always does in spring these years, to be honest. We had planned to get the slurry out the end of next week. I think it's unlikely now, considering that volume of water that fell. I mean, everywhere is saturated, the whole way walking down the passageway between the two fields here. There's a pond the whole way in the middle of it, so it's probably unlikely that we'll get the slurry out. But look, we'll see. We've a few good days coming up, but I think it's very mixed again after that, and can't bring the tractor and big tractors and tanker into the reseed and that, because it will only do damage. So we'll have to wait and see how we go, but it's just a bit disappointing because we want the slurry out so I can get the fertilizer out so we can get our silage cut, around the 20th of May is the plan. But all of these delays everything. Sorry, Sinead is bullying, so you'll see them kind of acting up there. But anyway, today I am going to get the calving pen ready because Norma is probably a week to 10 days out. I would say in 10 days she will have calved. So I just want to have the pen ready. I'm not going to put her in just yet, but I'll have it ready for her anyway, and we'll move her in a couple of days. Yesterday, again, because the weather was so bad, I couldn't do anything outdoors. So I cleaned this whole passage, but you would not think it to look at it now. But I cleaned out all the back as well, because a lot of the dung and everything just kind of gets pushed out there, and then the rain comes in and it just gets very wet and slippery. And I said when I'm moving the cows around to bring them into the calving pen, I just didn't want to risk any slipping or anything just in case they got nervous. So that actually took a good bit of time. There was a lot of wheelbarrows of dung came out of there. But it's looking nice and clean now, and there shouldn't be any fear of slipping. So yeah, after I do the pen anyway, I'm going to go up and I'm going to try and move those. I think I'll bring the chainsaw up as well and just see if I can get rid of some more bushes, just kind of tip away at it bit by bit. The ground won't be great, but sure, the gator is light. And we'll see how we go. I have been asked a few times, and like over a long time ago now, I'd say, to just kind of discuss a bit about the bulls that we're using for the cows this year, just to get an idea of who we're using and why we're using them. I will briefly go through it because I know that's not for everyone, but I will try and give some detail on the bulls we're using. Now I'll just set up the pen so you can see there's a lot of oil from the 390. I really should get that sorted. Some of it is from the crankshaft seal, which is a big job, so kind of putting that off. And then there's more of it coming from the loader, so I'll see if my friend can get that fixed. I don't know what's up with the hoses or whatever, but it just makes an awful mess, so I'll try and clean that a bit as well. I love the 390 and everything, and it's great, but in times like this I miss the loader because it's so big and awkward for this size shed. I'll show you where it is to give you an idea. Now it's set up there, so I just scraped it out, cleaned as much of the oil as I could off, just by scraping it with the brush and the hose. It doesn't seem very slippy, so it should be fine. Then I put on the lime, which is the white stuff for people who don't know. That is used as a disinfectant. It's just a really cheap form of disinfectant, so I never scrimp on that because a bag of it is only a few euro, and when you're dealing with newborn calves, the most important thing is for the area to be clean and disinfected. So every time I'll clean out the pen, I'll put more lime out onto it as well, and then especially between different cows calving, it will get a lot of the lime as well. And then I took last year's straw and put that down kind of as the base layer, and then I put the nice new straw on top, just because that stuff is a bit dirty and a bit damp. So I said that can stay as a layer. Dad always says, especially maybe the day before they're due to calve or whatever, I'll always clean out the pen, but he always says leave a bit of a layer on the bottom because it helps with grip when they are calving. So I like to have it all nicely cleaned out, all scraped and everything, but he swears by just leaving ever so slightly a layer on the bottom and just disinfecting over that then, and then putting your fresh straw on top just to give it better grip. So I was thinking at least I can use the old straw as that little bit of a layer, and then I can just put the new stuff on top. So that is the plan. Job done, very quick job, so that's handy. The sun is out, which is great. So I'm gonna throw the silage into these guys now. I'm actually meeting friends in Cork for dinner this evening, early this evening, so I don't have a whole lot of time, so I'll probably come back tomorrow or the day after to talk about the bulls we're using. I forgot my mic, so you'll have to bear with me because it is windy up here. I'm slipping. It's so wet. So, not a good sign. At least they're all here near the gap. So they won't, hopefully, they won't go running around the full field anyway. And we'll try and get them across this one. Jesus, that's so wet. Oh my god. Let's see how this goes. Easy, 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 easy. Walking, please. Easy, 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 easy. Penelope, Matthew, good boy. Easy, 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 easy. Mind me. Oh, stop, 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 stop. Please, Penelope. And we all know what happened next, and we all know what my reaction was next. So just had to mute that sound there, just to be on the safe side. I was actually quite well behaved considering, but I said I better just mute it a little bit. But I knew they'd never walk across, but look, they didn't do too much damage either. At least they ran straight across and didn't go in opposite directions around the field. But yeah, they only did a little bit of damage, in fairness. It could have been worse, I suppose. Oh my god, Elmo! Get down here now! Get down here now! Go! Now I'm back down this evening and I went out for dinner there with the girls from home, and it took me 2 days to recover from it, but we won't talk anymore about that. But I'm back out. We also had some bad weather again yesterday. There was serious flooding around the place. Today is lovely out there. Massive stretch in the evening as well. It's well past 6 o'clock now and it is perfectly bright out there, so it's great. Some people might be wondering, why didn't you just bring in the cattle, considering the weather is so wet? But unfortunately, it's just not that easy based on where they are. If they were below the shed, it'd be fine. I could just get mom and dad to help me and it would be grand. But because they're above the shed, you have to cross the main road. So I need more bodies and there's more gaps and all sorts of things. So I just can't get the help when I need it. I also don't work on Monday to Friday. Sorry, Norma is making a flood there behind me. I don't work on Monday to Friday, so I could say take a Thursday off and work a Sunday, or take a Wednesday off, work a Saturday, whatever it might be. But everybody else works Monday to Friday, so oftentimes my schedule just doesn't match up with the help, the sisters and Rob and whatnot. So it just makes it a bit difficult. In the summer, it's fine because the evenings are long, so we just have a better chance. But when the evenings are short, it has to be done on a day off, really, just for everyone's safety. But that's the reason why, just in case you were wondering. Now, the bulls. I'm going to get it up on Herd Watch here. I'm not going to go through every bull that we use or anything like that, but I'll show you the bulls we have used this year. It's handy on the Herd Watch app. You can just go into breeding and you've got the list then of the cows and heifers that are due to calve, and you've got like how many days are left for them to calve, the bull that was used, and if you go in then you can see more information on the bull, when they were served, how many serves they got. So this year we just had one repeat, and that was Michelle. All the rest of them took on the first serve, which was great. The year before we had 0 repeats, which was a miracle, but it was great. So what are we looking at? We use Eurogene to provide the AI service for us here, and we do it the old-fashioned way. The AI tech gives us the book and just here, have a look through that, and that's how we pick them out. And basically you're just looking at the ratings of the bull. This is mostly going to be for people who are not farmers, because a lot of farmers will be fairly au fait with this stuff. But you're literally just looking at the rating of it. You'll see the stars, how many stars they have overall, and then you'll also see a breakdown of what they have the stars in. So you're kind of looking at their overall. Then you're looking at their calving difficulty, things like docility, carcass weight, conformation. I'm probably missing important things now, but all those different things, it'll be on the screen anyway. And you're basically looking at how that matches up. So take calving difficulty, for example. That is really important when it comes to a heifer like Misty. It's her first calf. She won't know exactly what she's doing. We want to make sure that she has a calf that isn't going to cause her difficulty. So we're looking for the lowest number there, and you'll see the stars will will correspond with that then, excuse me. Whereas we take Snowflake over here. This woman knows how to pop out a calf, so she does. We could then go for a higher calving difficulty with her. There's certain breeds here that we don't go with, and I'm not going to mention it, but everyone's going to know what it is. But the people who use them are very, very loyal to them because of the price they get for them in the factory or at the mart. We don't use them because they are notorious for calving difficulty. I'm a part-time farmer. I'm not always here when they're calving. So for me, I want to make sure that they can do it themselves. So with Snowflake, she's fine. She can do it. These two girls had C-sections the same year, the first year I started farming. I said, oh my God, is this what farming is? But thankfully, they haven't had any issues since. But again, you're kind of looking at that calving difficulty with them, and you don't want to push it with them either. You know, I had to give Isabella a hand last year on her first calf. So again, you're not going to push it with her in terms of calving difficulty. But then Norma is kind of similar to Snowflake. I wouldn't be too concerned about the calving difficulty, but obviously we're not going for anything astronomical. Another thing then that I don't think every farmer cares so much about, and my dad probably being one of those, but I do, is docility. So how quiet the calves tend to be. I like that to be 5-star or 4-star at a minimum, because I just feel you're absolutely wasting your time if you're using bulls that are not quiet. I think it was Farmer Phil had a video maybe a couple of weeks ago about how they got out of sucklers, and she was saying that they bred from a bull that was an absolute lunatic, and it basically turned the whole herd wild, and they had an awful time with them. But that does genuinely happen. So I always try for, you know, high figures there on the docility, because I don't want to be running around the field after an animal or thinking, oh, I need to move them today, but Betsy is going to be a lunatic, because she'll only drive all the rest of them mad anyway. So docility is very important. I also am very much of the opinion that a quieter animal tends to do better, because the ones that are wild tend to get very stressed out by, say, my presence or somebody else's presence. And if an animal is stressed, I just don't think they're going to do as well as an animal that is nice and relaxed. Of course, you're going to have wild animals that do great, but I just think in general, if you have a nice, relaxed animal, they have to thrive better than ones that are constantly on edge and constantly watching you when you're around and things like that. But that's what we're looking for. I think, to be fair, I'm not going to go on for ages about it, but they're the main things we're looking at. You're literally just looking at their overall index just to see how they are, and then looking at that breakdown for them. I think my dad has done a very good job, and hopefully it will continue. We are using some new bulls this year to try and get our ICBF star rating up, whether that'll be disbanded or what, I don't know, because it's not making any sense at the moment, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's gone. But we've used some new bulls, so it will be interesting to see how they perform compared to the ones we've used previously. But sure, look, it's all trial and error. But that is it. If anybody has any other questions, I feel I really flew through that now, and probably didn't give it as much time as I should have. But you kind of have it on the screen anyway, so hopefully you'll be able to follow it. And if you have any questions, just send me a message or whatever, and I'll be happy to answer it if I can. But I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to get home before the dark, which is amazing. As always, thank you for watching. If you liked it, give me a like. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. Thank you.